Hey guys, this is 5 simple tips to help you get started in CS2.
That guy's been popping off, man.
First tip is going to be settings. We're not going to go over all the settings, but I think first one and an important one is the enable developer console on yes. I like to have this enabled just so if I need to change binds on the fly, change any settings without, and I don't want to open up the whole settings UI in the middle of a game or anything like that. I can just pull up my console, change whatever I need to. For example, I want to bind my scroll wheel down to jump as on. I'll just do M wheel down plus jump. This allows me to bind scroll wheel down on top of my space bar, like to jump on top of the space bar. So I can use both interchangeably. Helps with different movement options for me. Next setting go over is open bind menu with use key. I like to have that set to no. This is just in any case that if I'm in the buy zone and a teammate drops me a weapon, I can use my use key to pick up that weapon rather than trying to pick up that weapon, and instead I open my bind menu. Another thing that could happen is if you have a troll in your game and you have a teammate trying to buy you a weapon, that troll might try to grab that weapon before you. So it's a good way to be able to grab the weapon out of the air using your use key. If you don't have this disabled, then you're going to accidentally open your buy menu. That troll might get the weapon that your teammate was buying for you, and then you're going to be upset and it's going to ruin the game for you. So that's just a good way to try to counteract that. And then the next thing, it's new to CS2, is the follow recoil. I have that checked to no. Personal preference, I don't really like it. I like the old way that like CSGO and most other games have, where the crosshair stays in the center of the screen. But this allows the crosshair will actually move with the recoil pattern. So as long as you keep the crosshair on the enemy, the bullets are going to hit if you turn that on. I'm going to keep it off personally. I just don't enjoy it, but that's a good option for you. Next, we're going to go into video settings. Most of these are going to be preference. For me, I like to have 120% brightness, 164 hertz, 1920 by 1080, 16 by 9. This game, you do want to try to get maximum FPS as possible. So I definitely recommend having full screen on over windowed or full screen windowed, as you will take a hit in your FPS with those two options. Next, advanced video. Here's my video settings. If you want to copy them, I can run this game at the highest settings, but again, like I said, you want to try to get the most FPS as you can get possible. And so this is what I have: a lot of medium settings set to medium or low. I do have global shadow quality set to high. Again, it's preference, but that allows you to be able to see shadows better of, like, say, enemy player models and things like that. So that in this game, players create shadows and you can use that to your advantage to kind of see where an enemy might be and give you that advantage over them. Then reflex low latency. I haven't really noticed a difference between the different settings. I have mine on enabled plus boost, but that between enabled, I haven't really noticed a difference. But I do have this 3070 Ti, so that could be why. Next, we're gonna go over audio settings. Again, we're not gonna go deep dive into all of the settings. Most of them are gonna be preference, or there's gonna be good videos on other videos that will really deep dive into the ins and outs of this. But one that I think is really important that most people, if not all, should have enabled is the 10-second warning volume. I like to have that about 30%. You can do higher. I wouldn't go too much lower because they did tweak the volume in the game where it could become harder to hear. But I like mine at 30%, and that's just so that just lets me know if I'm on CT, I have 10 seconds left to defuse, or if I don't have a defuse kit, I already lost the round. I might as well just save my weapon. Or if I'm on T side, I have 10 seconds left to protect the bomb from being defused. Or if I know they don't have a defuse kit, I know we won the round already.
Flashing behind.
Gotcha. Flashing.
Tip number 2, it's going to be the practice mode and grenade lineups. So CS2 made it really easy. You don't have to do any commands or anything like that. You just hit play, come to practice, competitive. I'm going to pick Mirage. Pick whatever map you want to learn. And then we're going to turn on a grenade camera, infinite ammo, and warm up. We're going to go ahead and start. Now, I'm going to buy one of each nade. And then I can just use this. You can use this to really just kind of go around the map. And you can learn the maps if you don't already know the map. And then you can also look up videos or learn, create and learn new lineups on your own of the different smoke grenades. A lot of people think CS2 is all aim, which you need good aim to some degree, but really it's more so going to be game sense and being able to provide cover and lineups for your teammates. So having good lineups, like for example, I'm going to come here, I'm going to aim here. See, now you can see a line of where the smoke's going to go. And then if you look in the bottom left corner, you can see a camera showing where the smoke's actually going to land. And if I like go, it's going to show you the path that smoke actually takes to get to that position. It's a really amazing tool. Really makes learning nades and practicing grenades and lineups really easy in CS2. And really good idea to take the time to just come on the maps and learn different lineups. You don't even need to learn a ton of crazy ones, just some basic ones for each site, and it really goes a long way. Tip number 3 is going to be counter strafing. So counter strafing is when so in CS2 you're running and you let go of the key, kind of slide a little bit. You don't come to a complete stop. So, and during that slide, you're still going to be inaccurate when you shoot. To counter that, you counter strafe. So counter strafing is you'll be holding D or A. You could do W and S, but it's less likely and not really preferred. But say you're holding D, and then what you'll do is you'll hold D and then you'll click the opposite key, which would be A. You go in the opposite direction, and in that moment that you click, it comes to a complete stop, and you're 100% accurate at that stop. Good way to practice that is to kind of come to a wall, and so we're gonna pick this wall, and you're not gonna move your mouse, and you're just gonna shoot, and we're gonna go D A shoot A D shoot D A shoot A D shoot D A shoot A D shoot. Kind of just keep going back and forth. Trying to get used to that. Obviously, I wasn't perfect. I kind of shut off, but getting good at counter strafing can really give you a huge leg up against other players in the game, as you're going to shoot a lot more accurately while still, to some degree, continuously moving throughout the map. Tip number 4 gonna be scopes. This is one that a lot of people, especially people new to Counter-Strike, kind of overlook. When you're using the auto sniper, or the scout, they actually have a indicator to let you know if your shot's gonna be accurate or not. So if I show you, if I scope in, you can see the crosshair in the center of my scope, no problem. But if I start moving, it's blurred. That lets me know that my shot's going to be completely inaccurate. So if I'm trying to shoot, it's not going to hit where I'm aiming. But if I stop, it's accurate. So it's a good thing to just be mindful of. You have that indicator to always let you know if it's going to be accurate or not. Same thing with the scout. Like I said, inaccurate, but if I stop, it's going to be accurate.
One's above me, one's going secret.
Tip number 5 is going to be sound discipline. So if I remove my camera, or noise discipline. So you want to be mindful of the noise you're making around the map. So if I'm sprinting, you look at the top left corner, you see a red circle on my minimap. That is an indicator letting you know anyone in or near that circle is going to hear my footsteps when I'm running. So if you see a teammate walking in a game or something like that, maybe there's a reason they're walking. Maybe they know there's an enemy nearby and they don't want to make any noise. That might be a good idea to walk when you see them walking. It's a good thing to learn what little things might cause noise as well. If you notice, actually, the map also gives you indicators of anything you do that might make a noise. So like scoping with the op creates noise. Changing fire type on the Glock or the Moss is gonna make noise. Just little things like that. So it might be a good idea to come into like a practice map like this and just kind of play around with different things to see what creates noise in game that's going to give away your position or your teammate's position. That was 5 simple tips to help you get started in CS2. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe for more, and go ahead and comment below if any of these tips helped you in any of your future games.